All right, so again, welcome. We're so excited to be here. Just quickly, I want to introduce myself and my colleague here. So my name is Whitney Woods. I am a career advisor here in the Career Center, and I'll let Christy introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Christy Wright. I'm the Assistant Director of Employer Services in the Career Center.
So we're excited to have y'all here, and I think Christy's going to go ahead and take over, and we're going to talk a little bit about what is Handshake and how y'all can use that if you're approaching your job search or your internship search. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Christy.
Thanks, Whitney. So just a little housekeeping, since it's only two of you here. Feel free to stop me as we're going along if you would like more details or if you have a question or if I need to go back to a certain area. Completely open forum, and you can just shout it out. You don't have to put it in the chat or anything since it's just the two of you. So but we will go ahead and get started, and I'm going to open it up. So this would be the dashboard of when you go into your Handshake account. Backing up just a little bit, if you have not created a Handshake account, you would go to olemiss.joinhandshake.com, and you already have an account, so it's like you're signing in, and you're going to create a password. So just look for that confirmation email to come to your @go email, and then you'll go through those steps to get that confirmed, and then this is what your dashboard would look like. I'm going to start with the most important thing. Once you get in here and you're looking at this, definitely start with your profile. And as you can see, I do not have a ton of stuff on here on purpose. I wanted everybody to see kind of what it looks like, not completely filled out. It does ask you here, or it does tell you here where you're at. But like adding a photo, especially right now in the virtual landscape we're in, a photo is great so they can put a face to a name. And that's where you would edit it right here at this edit pencil. Your journey is basically going to be like your 30-second commercial, but obviously answering these questions here. But if you think of it like your 30-second commercial, that does kind of cover a lot of these questions, but this is something that the employers will see. So just keep that in mind when you're discussing your journey and kind of where you want to go and things like that. If any of this right here is wrong, you go right here and you edit it here. That's where you can put your GPA in. You do not have to show your GPA, but if you put it in, it does give you the option to, I'll just go ahead and open it up. It does give you the option right here, hide from employers, on both department and cumulative. So you can hide that right there if you need to. I will say if you apply to any job, it will show that to employers at that point, but not until you apply. We do have the majors in here, so you can go in there and add your majors. You can type your minor and then make sure this information is correct, because sometimes that will knock you out of being able to apply for a job. And of course, if you've done anything prior, you can go ahead, if you're going to go and do a master's, you can put that in there, but just make sure that it's in the correct order and your bachelor's actually says your primary education, because there again, that can knock you out of applying for some jobs. But I have my profile hidden from employers. If you are new to Handshake and you have not gotten in here and updated or done some settings or anything, I will tell you it is automatically visible to employers. So just make sure that you're going in here and hiding it if you're not ready for employers to see it, or if you don't want to get a bunch of opportunities from employers that you might not be interested in. So there again, like with your GPA, once you apply to a job, they'll be able to see your profile, even if it's private. So just make sure if you're not ready for it, you can change it right there, or you can go right here and change it, but it is in your settings as well. Work and volunteer experience. If you're in a sorority, I would say make sure you're breaking out those philanthropy, if you did the big event, anything that you're doing on campus, make sure to break all that out here. And then you would put your organization's extracurriculars here. So that's if you're in a leadership role, if you're a committee member, anything like that, make sure to put those here. And you can go and add more information if you want. You can give details kind of like your job, but just make sure you're at least putting this information right here in. Your interests over here, there again, it's like it says, it's only visible to you. But when you are going through, if you're looking at the jobs or job interests, cities, whatever it looks like, it does help your search along. It does kind of do priority based on what your interests are, but that doesn't mean you can't look other ways. So that just kind of helps you in your search, kind of helps you with some filters, narrowing down, things like that. But it doesn't hinder you from seeing everything and or knocking you out of as a candidate for anything. Courses, I would recommend putting anything that you feel is valid towards your major, like what you're going to do in the future. So for instance, I'm IMC and there are those specializations. I could start adding those classes for specializations here. There again, this is self-reported, but just make sure everything is matching your transcript. So you wouldn't want to put anything on here that you have not taken or not had experience in. Right here under projects, add anything, and this can include anything for classes. Don't limit yourself as committees, organizations. Definitely add all of that. But like it says, publications, presentations, if you have an online portfolio, I mean, you definitely want to add all that there so the employer's getting the full picture of who you are. And in case you ever want to do it, discover more students basically is you're discovering students like you across the whole Handshake network. That's not just limited to our school. You do not have to do it, but if you ever want to do that, you can go in there and kind of look at other profiles, see what other students are doing. If they have a public resume, you can kind of see what's on there. But yeah, and you can also reach out to them. You can ask them questions. If they took a class that you might be interested in that we don't offer here, I mean, that might be a good opportunity to kind of network with other students. You also see alumni. So if there's an alumni from any of these schools, you can go in there and start asking them questions, especially if they're at a place, an employer where you want to be. Next thing is skills. Please make sure to do this. It's like LinkedIn. Definitely the more you have in here, the better. And there again, employers do see that. When they are searching for you, they might add some of these skills as a search. And so you definitely want to make sure you're adding, I think you can add up to 50, kind of like LinkedIn, but you can add, you know, whatever you feel is relevant to you. But just like your resume, you don't want to put anything in here that you're not well skilled at. So like for instance, a language, you wouldn't want to put Spanish on here if you can only write it or speak it. You know, you want to be able to be fluent in Spanish in order to put it on here. So like PowerPoint, you would want to know the formulas, things like that. So make sure you're very proficient in it or very skilled at it before you add it. And then documents, make sure you're adding at least your resume. You can add as many resumes as you want. You can have different resumes for different work paths, and you can elect to have any of those public. You can only have one public at a time, or you can elect to have none of them public. So, but when you're applying for jobs, they would already be in there, and you would just select the resume when you apply. So that's about it for your profile, but I cannot stress enough how important your profile is, because when employers are searching for students, that is the #1 way that they find students. They can't always see everything on your profile, but your profile, the way you've got it set up, like your skills, for instance, is how they would connect with you or how they would search for you. So going back over to our main page, I'm going to let Whitney cover jobs closer to the end, but just so you can see employers right here, when you click on it, you can actually see every single employer that's in Handshake. you can go in here. So like Mosaic, just say you've heard of them, you really feel like that would be a great place you would like to work. You can follow them if they don't have jobs posted. If they ever post jobs or come to an event or host an event, you would get a notification that Mosaic is coming, and that they are going to be hosting an event. And then that way you get that notification and you can kind of go on there and register for that event. When you are also, I'm going to go down to Northwestern Mutual, when you're clicking into the employer itself, this is everything that they've put in Handshake. Now you can go to their website and look, but let's just say Northwestern Mutual, that might be a place you would like to be considered for opening there. You can see students that have worked here, and you can actually reach out to those students. You can see, generally you'll have a public staff list here, so that might be the connection. And here is actually an email for a contact right there. But you can see reviews that have been made for them. Not every company, the review part is fairly new, so not every company is going to have that, but you can go through here and see if there's reviews for these companies. And these are ones that have worked here, and then you can also see how an interview went. Going back over, I want to go back over to employers. When you are in here, you can go to jobs. These are saved jobs. So like if Mosaic or Northwestern had a job, you could favorite the job just like you follow here, and you could go back to your saved, and that's where all your saved would be. If you turn around and apply for that job, this is where all of your applications would be. And that way it's an easy access to go back and look. If you would like to narrow down your employers, you can narrow down the employers here. And then on-campus interviews, this will be everything that we host through our office. And you could go into these at any time. Let's just say Insight Global. You would click on them. You would see everything. This timeline is very important if you're wanting to apply, because it will close on the 20th. So that's just something to note if any employers ever come to campus to interview, or they're doing a virtual like this case, you want to make sure to kind of keep up with this timeline. But then you're going to go into the job itself, or the interview itself, and then that's where you would actually apply. And there again, you can favorite it right here. That way you can come back. It will give you a push notification that this job is about to close for applications. If you do apply, it will, and you're accepted to be interviewed, it will also give you a push notification that you've been chosen. Please go back into Handshake and choose a time to be interviewed. So really great. You're really user friendly. Everything is here, so you don't have to go in and out of the program. Let's see, community. This is where you can start to explore students. If you would like to do University of Mississippi only, obviously that's there, but you can do by what year they are, what major they are, where they worked, or even a student organization. So you can find common ground most anyway, and then you can kind of go from there. So events. This might be how you found us. I know that they were promoting it through the School of Journalism as well, but we have over 100 events that are listed in Handshake. All of them right now are virtual. You can go to as many as you want. You can flag it right here, so it will remind you to go back to the event. You do not have to register for most of these events, but I would go into each one and just double check within the event. Some of them, they do require you to register on an external site, but none of these events are actually hosted on the Handshake platform. So like today you had a Zoom link, some of them do WebEx, some of them do Google Meet. So just make note of that when you go in here. And you can also do filters on here. So if you want to narrow down, but let me just go into one. So this is Amazon is doing one today starting at 4, but you can go in here and you can kind of see what they're looking for, what they're going to be talking about. Excuse me. And you can add a comment here, and those comments are seen by the employer. So if you have a question, you can go through there. There again, you can flag it here. But like I mentioned, this has got an external registration where you would go to register. Excuse me. All of a sudden, I got a tickle in my throat. But most of the time, it just has registration here. When you go to Q&A, these are questions that you kind of put out into the Handshake universe, and any students can answer. So just be as specific as you can. Like you said, I mean, like it says here, you know, what does it take to do well at KPMG? And then here's another one. What are some possible career paths for a theater acting major? So you can literally ask anything you would like, but just obviously make it career path related or your major related. And then again, here's students where you can explore students here. Let's see, going back, career paths, community, that's where you can learn from alumni, career paths, you saw that, events, we've looked at that. Career Center, another good resource for you is this is where you would make appointments with us. Resources, I'm just gonna click on that so you can kind of see there's a ton of different resources. A lot of things, for instance, like Vault, we pay for y'all to have the service for free. So just if you want to use Vault, I love Vault. It's got a lot of great information on there. Just make sure you're going through Handshake to go to Vault, and it's all free. You get full access to the site. You don't have to pay for anything, and you can go research companies. There's actually jobs and internships there. There are Vault guides, which breaks down the industry for you. If you're looking at one particular company, it will actually show you competitors that maybe you hadn't thought of, or maybe you just want to go look at who's competitive in the area. So it's got a lot of great things that you can use in there. Let's see, I just want to go back and appointments here. Super easy. Schedule a new appointment. You're going to first answer what you're coming to meet for. So let's just do document review. And then you're going to scroll down until you find your, excuse me, your major. So in this case, it'd be journalism. But if you're thinking about an internship, I'm going to go back one step. You're going to choose internship on both pages. And what that's going to do is that's going to link you up with Brendan Lee, and he is our internship coordinator. So that would be the only difference. Otherwise, you're going to go through there and you're going to choose, you can still choose journalism here, not a big deal at all. But you're going to see me and Whitney here as opposed to Brendan, which we both can still help you. That's not a big deal at all. But sometimes he's got the finger on the pulse of like internship world. So he usually gets some information that I don't. So he's a great resource, and that is like his main focus is internships. So literally you can go either route, but just so you know, Whitney and I, and then also Brendan can help you with internships. Otherwise, all the other stuff, like document review, or if you're doing career exploration, major exploration, that would be myself and Whitney. But I think that's it for me. Oh, if we send you any messages, that'll be here. Drop down box, you can kind of see everything we went through just right there, and you can click on it and go straight to it. In settings and privacy, this is where you would change anything, like if employers are contacting you and you want to make your profile private, that's where you would do that. Notifications, there again, email, or it'll send you a text how you want to receive your notifications, like the push notifications if an employer posts a job. So just keep all that in mind. And there's also a help button, and that would connect you directly with Handshake. So yeah. So I'm going to turn it back over to Whitney, and I think she's got a couple more things to cover with y'all.
Yeah, so I'm sharing my screen really quick. So the last thing I want to go over really quickly is job searching. So like Christy said, if y'all are looking for full-time jobs or even internships, like I said, Brendan, he's going to be your most direct source for internships. So he would be a great person to meet with. But Christy and I can help you as well. But also if you're on your full-time job search, like if you're getting ready to graduate in December or May and you're looking for jobs, usually your appointments would be with us, and we can actually, help you go through here and help you look for jobs that are specific to you. Today I'm going to talk about those like journalism and IMC jobs and basically how you can search for those in general. But of course it could be more specific, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But you can either hit jobs right here or go straight up to the top, click on jobs. And you'll see it looks pretty similar to all the other portions that Christy has showed you. So if I just go here to jobs, it's going to pull up every open position that's on Handshake right now. As you can see, that's a little over 8,000 right here that's open. So that's a lot of jobs. So of course we want to narrow that down. And so when I'm taking students through different job searching sources online, I often compare it to doing a research paper. So, if you go to the library's website, you're trying to find articles on a certain subject, you have to figure out which keywords work best to find you the articles that you're looking for. Really, it's the same concept when you're searching for jobs online. You're going to use different search terms depending on what kind of jobs that you're looking for. So you can start off really broad if you want to in the search bar as far as your search terms. Like if I wanted to just type in journalism, and find journalism related positions. So you can see automatically we have some journalism internships, lots of internships in journalism, writing internships, journalism and film school, English and social multimedia, lots of different internships here. Now, most of these are internships. If you're looking for internships, you can always go over here and select, I want to see internships specifically, which is great. If you're like, no, I'm not looking for internships, I want full-time jobs, you can narrow it down to that. If you're looking for both, then you can just leave that open and see every position that's related to journalism. So it's really up to, what your goals are and what kind of jobs that you're looking for. So if you're looking for full-time positions, we can narrow that down. So we see like an investigative reporter, we see like a junior editor in tech, sales assistant, producer, news photographer, news director. You can see we have a lot that come through here. So, journalism is really going to pull up everything that's related to journalism. Now, if you're interested in specifically like news producing, then you could put news producer in the search bar. Or if you wanted to put writing, like you're really interested in writing positions, you could put writing in that bar. If you're an IMC major, and you're looking for marketing type positions, you could use marketing. So marketing development, specialist retail, marketing directors. And so you see that marketing director there, that's probably more of a higher level job. So one thing you can do to cut out your search options so that you don't see those more higher level positions, you can go over here to all filters. And you can actually choose like your industry, your job function, you major. There's a lot of stuff you can choose here. Like you can search for certain employers if you want to look at certain industries. There are, go more here. Yeah, so if you want to go to general like job functions, majors, basically you can narrow that down even more to take out some of the certain kind of jobs that you see. So basically you can narrow it down. So if you're looking for internships and you want to do paid roles only, or if you want to do work study, you can do that. So basically you can come in here and narrow this down even more as far as your job. And so basically we narrow that down to almost 187. Okay, so basically we can narrow that down and you can search for jobs that way. You can also add location to this. So if you know that I'm looking particularly in this area, so if you want to be in, we'll just say Dallas. You narrow it down to Dallas, Texas, hit show results, and it's only going to show you the jobs that are in Dallas. So very similar here. So if you like this influencer marketing coordinator, if you think that's an interesting position, you could flag this, like Chrissy said, with employers. Essentially, that's going to add that to your saved position. So as soon as I hit that flag, if I go here to saved, the job is going to show up. And here's another job that I'd added, a marketing intern. So basically, you're going to see all those there. And so this is great because you'll get, like Chrissy said, push notifications that say, hey, you saved this job that you were interested in. The application deadline's coming up. You may want to go ahead and apply for that. So you'll get those reminders, which is really, really helpful. And of course, when you're ready to apply, you just hit this apply button here. And some of these are going to be a little bit different. So for this job, you're going to attach your resume. Almost all of them ask that. So whatever resume that you have uploaded to your Handshake will come up here. You would click on that, attach it, and then hit submit application for that job. Now, some of them, instead of submit application, you'll see external application. And basically all that does is it takes you to their individual website and you quickly fill out their application. So basically that's the only difference that means is that you do an external application as well as attaching your resume and doing it on Handshake. So basically you just kind of follow what it asks you to do there. And usually, sometimes there's one or two questions that follow, but usually it's really simple. You just attach your resume and apply. And like Chrissy said, they can come look at your profile. They can see your resume. They can see all of your experience that's relevant to the job you're searching for. So basically, when you're looking for jobs, one thing I always ask students is, first off, knowing what kind of positions you're looking for. That'll help you know what kind of search terms to use. Also, location is a big part. So if I know that I'm going to be looking for jobs in Dallas or in Nashville or in Atlanta, I'm going to specifically put in those locations. If you're looking for jobs really anywhere, you don't have to do location. Or you could do like 100 miles surrounding if you just want to be near Dallas, but not necessarily in Dallas. So you can change that. When you choose location, you can change distance from, up to 100 miles to 1 mile. Like I want to be in Dallas, like specifically. So basically you can change that. Normally up to 50 miles is what it is normally set on. But you can change that based off what you're trying to find and what kind of position you're trying to find. So really that's mostly about jobs on Handshake. I mean, so, searching for jobs here is pretty much works the same as if you're on Glassdoor or internships.com or LinkedIn. Really, they all work very similarly. So, if you job search on one, normally they all function pretty much the same. So it should be pretty easy to understand how they work in different places. But basically, that's all we have about job searching on Handshake. Now we wanted to make sure that we had a little bit of time, which we have about 10 minutes left or so, for y'all to ask any questions that you have about Handshake or about job searching and how you can use that to find positions. So does anybody have any questions?
I think I'm good. Thank y'all.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Well, if we don't have any questions, I think that's about all that we have for you. So we really appreciate y'all being here today and learning a little bit more about Handshake. And hopefully you can now use this to not only see what kind of events are going on, but to network with other students and employers and to search for those jobs and internships that you're looking for. Of course, you saw how to make appointments on there. So if you have any questions or if you'd like to make an appointment, Christy and I would be more than happy, one of us, to sit down with you and to actually help you look for your type of specific jobs and help you with your job search and getting your resume together and all that stuff. So if you have any questions, feel free to email us, to reach out, to connect, find us on Handshake or on our university website, and we'd be more than happy to help you any way we can.
I actually do have a question.
Okay, yeah.
So when it comes to internships, how does that process go? Like, I'm just curious.
Do you mean how does the application process work?
Yeah, and then like actually securing the internship and things like
Yeah, so that's really it really functions just like the job search for the most part. So you would find internships, and you can find those on Handshake. You can apply for those if you know you're looking for an internship at a specific company or organization. You could look on their website, or you could email people in the departments that you're interested in having an internship with, and basically send them a professional email, attach a resume, tell them you're interested in looking for internships. And basically it works just like a normal job search process. So you're going to apply for the position, and then basically they get back to you about setting up an interview. Now this is going to look different based on every company. Some may start off with like a phone interview and then do like a Zoom or a Skype video interview. Most employers right now are not doing in person, so normally it would be like phone to Zoom. Usually it would be phone or Zoom into an in person, but most companies right now are not doing in person. So basically, you'll receive that call, you'll go to the interview, you'll set that up, complete the interview, and then basically they get back to you about the next steps. I mean, so there are some companies you'll find on Handshake that, say, we offer internships from January to December. So basically they're offering internships all year long, and basically they kind of have like an open application. So during the interview process, you could tell them, I'm interested in doing a summer internship or a January internship. And you could just discuss that with the employer, and they'll see when they have openings. And then basically you find an internship length that works for you. Some of them are 8 weeks, some 12, some 16. It's just going to depend on the company and the internship that you're applying to. But essentially, you would work with the employer to find when the internship time would be best, and then basically you would schedule to start the internship, and then they would help you, integrate into your job, and, help you learn all the different skills and stuff that, you agreed upon for the internship. And then essentially after that, just goes on your resume. Definitely while you're there, take the opportunity to network. Definitely build relationships with your mentors and your supervisors, because they could be, references for full-time jobs. And a lot of internships actually turn into full-time jobs. You can almost see an internship as a tryout for a position, because a lot of employers, they take on interns and they hope to hire them full-time positions, because you're already trained, you already know the company, you know how everything works, and so they can easily integrate you into the full-time position. So ultimately it doesn't work any different. Internship search really doesn't work any different than a full-time job search. It's just internships are an opportunity for you to learn about a particular field, learn about a particular job, and to enhance your skills. And so that way you're more prepared to go out and look for those full-time positions. Does that answer your question?
yeah, thank
Awesome. That was a great question. Really good question. All right. Well, my email is whitney@career.olemiss.edu, and I'll go ahead and I'll type that in the chat really quick. And I'll also add Christy's in there. And basically it's just the same. It's just Christy@career.olemiss.edu. And so if y'all ever have any questions, or, again, would like to set up an appointment, if you want to email us like a resume or a cover letter, and you'd like us to look over that, we would be more than happy to. So I just put our emails in the chat. So if we don't have any other questions, I'll give y'all a second to screenshot those or write those down, and y'all can contact us with any further questions that you think of. All right. Well, I hope y'all have an excellent day, and thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.